MLB Network podcast. I'm Adnan Virk. It is great to have you with us. Daniel Craig reprising his role as Benoit Blanc in the latest installment of the Knives Out franchise. That's right. It's currently on Netflix. I've seen it. Cinephile approved. It's absolutely fantastic. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. The director is Rian Johnson, and he joins us now. Ryan, the latest Knives Out mystery, it's fantastic once again. Why did you choose a church as the setting?
Well, there's sort of a history of churches and whodunits. Agatha Christie wrote one called Murder in the Vicarage. G.K. Chesterton wrote the Father Brown mysteries. So there's something about the moral questions that a church brings up and a good murder mystery that it's a little bit peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, I was about to say, Josh O'Connor is so great talking about his faith and the way that Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig's character, just kind of tosses it off like, oh, I'm a heretic. Here's what I believe. But you're right. That kind of supernatural and the mixing of those images is really fun. It has a darker tone, I find, than the previous Knives Out installments. Was that done on purpose by you?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of have it be a little more Gothic in tone. It's a little bit more Edgar Allan Poe, which I think is really fun. I mean, hopefully it's still, I think it's still really funny movie. It's still a
Yes.
Benoit Blanc mystery, so it's got to have humor in it. But it's got a little bit of a richer tone to it in a way that I think makes sense when you're in a kind of a creepy church graveyard. You gotta lean into that a little bit.
It's incredible, these casts that you pulled together, Ryan. I'm sure all these actors and their agents and managers are bugging us. Oh, they want to be in the Knives Out movie. They love these Agatha Christie-style movies. So it's a remarkable cast. I mentioned Josh O'Connor, but I mean, you've got Kerry Washington, you've got Josh Brolin, you've got Glenn Close. I mean, you've got stars of all vintage. How tough is it not to cast them, but to say no to those that you can't get in the movie?
No, I'll tell you, man, and we've gotten really lucky with all three of these casts, and this one is really, really special. But at the same time, and we're going after, you know, the busiest people in Hollywood, and we're going after movie stars. Any one of these people would be, you know, top of the title on any of their own movies, and we're asking them to come in and play part of an ensemble. But that's also what makes it a joy. You get people signing up for it who want to have that kind of ensemble experience. So, but it still feels like a little miracle anyone time we ink a deal and actually get somebody on set.
Well, I appreciate your humility. One of my favorite actors is the great Michael Shannon. Has there ever been a better moment in a Knives Out movie than Michael Shannon telling Nana to eat her dinner?
Nana, do you eat? Yeah, I adore Shannon, and I know we're about to talk about the Cubs. You know, Michael Shannon's a Chicago guy, and I'll never forget screening the first Knives Out movie at the Chicago Film Festival. He was there with some of his buddies, and that was a really, really good time. But yeah, Michael Shannon can do no wrong.
Yeah, I've talked baseball with him, and you're right. He's a Cubs guy, but also a White Sox guy. He goes, well, I'm a Chicago guy. I can cheer for both teams. I said, fair enough. American League, National League, why not? The film's big moment takes place. Yeah, I was going to say the first film's big moment takes place Good Friday, April 18th, 2025. And the first major clue in the mystery is tied to that baseball game taped by Thomas Hayden Church's character. Well, obviously, I've loved ever since Sideways. To make it authentic, you picked a game, Ryan, that was actually played on April 18th, 2025 between the Cubs and the D-backs. What made you pick that game?
Well, I wanted the movie to be set in 2025. And to be clear, we shot the movie in 24. So it was set in the future. And when we were shooting the movie, we didn't know what the world was going to be like in 25. And through most of editing, we had slugged in I think that we actually slugged in just a Dodgers game on there just as a temporary thing because that game hadn't happened yet. And so we were waiting until the very last moment of post-production until we had that specific Cubs game that happened that I was like, okay, this one will work. It happens the day of the murder. It happens exactly at the right time. And finally and luckily there wasn't a rain delay of the game. And
Good point.
We were able to capture it and slug it in there, and we got it finally.
Yeah. And how is the footage of that game used as a storytelling device throughout the film?
So basically the game is happening, and my wife and I are big baseball fans. So we just have games on in the background basically all through the season. And so for me, it's something that made a lot of sense. One of the characters, he is a huge Cubs fan, and so he has an old school setup where he has like rabbit ears on his TV and he tapes the games. And because he has to be at church this specific Good Friday, and because he's gotten yelled at for listening on his ham radio during church, he's taping the game at home. And so that becomes part of the thing that helps establish the timing of a motive, sort of.
It's really interesting. What I find so fascinating about your Ryan is that, you know, these whodunits, they get so tricky because much like seeing a magician, if you're surprised by it, it's more effective. But everyone's watching your film going, okay, who's it going to be? I'm waiting for that sleight of hand. Like everyone's attention is so peaked and so laser focused, yet you're still able to pull off that sleight of hand. How are you able to do that when people now feel like they're trying to guess along with this whodunit?
Well, the place that I start is I kind of recognize when I'm sitting down to write that collectively the audience is a lot smarter than I am, and I won't be able to kind of fool. I can't fool them. And so what I try and do is I try and entertain them. And so that's the only kind of misdirection that really works. If I can get them involved in the story, if I can get them laughing along with the character, if I can get them leaning forward, like what's going to happen next, then that's the best shot I've got at them kind of missing obvious clues that are running by them. And then even if they do catch a clue, then they feel good about catching the clue and they've still been entertained. So that's kind of my approach.
Benoit Blanc has become an iconic character. I just love his fashion. Like I'm watching the movie going, I love that three-piece suit. And then he's got that gray suit at the end. Tell me, the whole look of this guy is great, the way you were able to create that. I'm sure Daniel's input as well in the character.
Yeah, Daniel loves clothes, and Jenny Egan, our costume designer, Daniel gets together with Jenny basically, and they like our two little kids, like, you know, playing at this in their corner of the playground, and then they bring it over to me and say, what do you think of this? And I'm just like, he looks great. that'll work. Yeah, Blanc's look is all Daniel all the time. I love the way he looks in this movie. It's kind of a 70s tailored Yves Saint Laurent style, like men's suit, and honestly you kind of have to be Daniel Craig to pull it off, but he is Daniel Craig. He looks good. I wouldn't look great in that suit, I'll put that way.
You're being humble, but you're right that he can pull off anything. There's no question about it. We'll be back with more on Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery with director Rian Johnson next.
Who are you? I probably should have led with this. My name is Benoit Blanc. I'm a detective. I've taken an interest in the murder of Jefferson Wicks.
You're a detective, so you're with the police?
No, I work in a private capacity.
Everyone thinks I did it. I didn't do it. But in my heart, maybe I didn't. And the way it happened was some kind of miracle. And I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know.
Would you allow me to help you?
What?
Your lips are cracked with dehydration. You haven't slept all night. You spent it out of doors by the state of your pant legs on your knees in prayer. What I see is not a guilty man in torment, but an innocent man tormented by guilt. Let me help you.
How?
This was dressed as a miracle. It's just a murder, and I solve murders.
What I admire again about your career, Ryan, is just the way you've shifted. As I said, Brick was this great film, introduces the world to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You make Looper, a great time travel film, obviously Bruce Willis. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, nothing bigger than that. Now the Knives Out franchises. What's it been like for you navigating from like small scale independent filmmaking to movies as big as they get on Netflix?
I mean, I'll tell you, it's weird. It's when you're doing the actual work of making these things, and I work with a lot of the same people that I've worked with since Brick. My cinematographer has been my best friend since I was 17. My composer Nathan is my cousin. We've been making movies together since we were 10, and so nice. And also the reality is, no matter how big the movie gets or how big the platform is it shows on, it's still end of the day, it's you and the camera and a couple of actors trying to make a scene work and trying to make it feel real. And so it's the same basic tools, and no matter how many trucks are parked in the loading dock, it kind of doesn't affect the actual experience of making these things, which it still kind of feels like making movies with my friends growing up, you know?
It's wonderful to be able to keep that. And of course, I always appreciate the fact, not only as a director, but as a writer. So this is all coming from your own imagination. And then you're kind of maybe shot listing it as you go along. You know how to shoot certain things and where you're going to move from. Let's get into baseball. So you work with all these major casts, right? All these major stars. I want to know who's been the best athlete of all the actors you've worked with. Who do you think would be a great baseball player if you put them on the spot?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Now I'm thinking back. I mean, I'm trying to think who has had to do the most athletics throughout the entire thing. Anna de Armas in the first one had to like do some scaling up a wall, and she was just like a pro at it. Janelle in the second one, I feel like would probably. Although I had Dave Bautista in the second one, and
I should have said no Dave Bautista. Yeah.
No Dave Bautista. Okay, you want to take him out of the equation? Yes. Yeah. No, we've had a lot of great. And then Josh learned some boxing for this one. He had to be able to kind of properly go out of bags. So yeah, we've kind of run the gamut, but we haven't yet. I had a baseball that was featured in the first movie, but this is the first time an actual baseball game is in one of these movies. So I'm excited about that.
But say Josh seems pretty athletic too. I saw the tennis movie obviously made Challengers with Liqua Guadagnino. So you're right. Between boxing and tennis,
good.
He can hold his own. Yeah.
He's got it covered. Yeah. I remember that year they asked him if he wanted to come to Wimbledon, and he was a bit like, he would be afraid people would think he could play tennis and would talk to it. He was like, it was all acting. It was all fake. So,
right.
Yeah.
I swear it was a green screen. You're a big Dodgers fan, as you mentioned, Ryan. You and your wife always watching games. I mean, if this year's World Series was a movie script, they would say it was too impossible, right? Too fantastical. What were you thinking while that drama unfolded? Yeah.
You cannot write it. I mean, it's insane. And that's what we love about sports. It's just literally anything can happen. But, oh my God, like when Yamamoto was like getting ready to actually go back out, it's like if you put that in a script, they would get kicked back by the studio saying, "Okay, let's jump it down." It was an extraordinary series, and it had everything. It had everything, and it had heartbreak. I mean, I can say on behalf of all Dodgers fans, I mean, there was heartbreak in there. There was thrills. It was just everything you could possibly want, man. My head's spinning still from it.
I was about to say Yamamoto, we knew was great. He got $300 million, a major contract. But again, what he was able to do in that spot was still incredible. Which was the more unlikely moment to you? Miguel Rojas going deep or the Andy Pages catch?
Oh my God. I mean, flip a coin, man, because both of them were like absolutely insane. That Pages catch, literally, I think my heart leapt out of my throat, was like beating in front of me, and I had to grab it and put it back in. It was insane, and for a moment I thought, that's it, the game's done, it's over. You know, everybody did. It should have been, and then but Yamamoto, and also the narrative of the Yamamoto, like the fact that earlier in the season he was still kind of finding his feet, and we knew that he was like had all this promise, but it's like, oh, is he pitching in a major? And then to finish with that cymbal crash, it's just. Yeah, that's the best it gets, man. It's amazing.
Cymbal crash is a good way of putting it. The one challenge they thought perhaps for this Dodgers team was the bullpen. Now, Dave Roberts kind of solved that by using his starters, obviously, in relief roles, and then Roki Sasaki was tremendous, who was not expected to be in that role. But what do you make of the Edwin Diaz signing? Arguably the best closer on the market. The Dodgers go, we'll take him for the Mets.
We'll just grab him. I know. Sorry, Mets. I got a buddy who's a big Mets fan, and yeah, he didn't text me for like a day. It's like, It's I mean, the fact that the bullpen like pulled it through in like the postseason. Also, honestly, man, I'm so happy that Kershaw got kind of like a final grace note in a postseason grace note in that series. That just filled my heart with joy, and the fact that he could kind of. Walk off that field with a win. I mean, that was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was a great point. You're like, how much is Dave Roberts going to use him just for a few outs? Just get the job done. You're right. It's obviously a Hall of Fame career, and he's been a first ballot guy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, and I'm happy he didn't go back out at the end, but I'm happy he had that great moment where he clinched it. It's nice. It's nice to see.
I have to tell you, I talked to Dave Roberts at the winter meetings, and I asked him about the Pages catch, and I said, like, how did you know, Dave? Like, instinctively, you put this guy in the game, and then 2 outs later, he makes arguably the greatest catch in World Series history. And he said, I didn't put him in for his range. I put him in for his arm. I thought there might be a play at the plate, and he'll be able to throw out the guy. I did not put him in thinking he'd have that kind of range. Isn't that unbelievable?
That's unreal. And it's just, the other thing is, what wouldn't you pay to just have a feed of a mic in the dugout and just be able to hear, to like have like an inside baseball view of all this stuff. Anytime they mic up the players or we get a little snippet of something, or I watch all those John Boy breakdowns, and it's just like, that's like candy to me. So hearing the thinking behind those decisions, it's wild, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, Tom Verducci, of course, does a great job with MLB Network. And Fox said he was there in the dugout, and he goes, he looked like a teenager. He had the hoodie on, almost like the AirPods in, half asleep. Oh, you're going to the game? Oh, okay, sure. And he goes and thinks again. You can't write it. It's spectacular. It's amazing. It's amazing. We'll be back with some rapid-fire topics with Rian Johnson when the MLB Network podcast returns. Ozymandias is arguably the greatest Breaking Bad episode ever, and you directed it. That episode where Hank gets killed and the drama of Walt taking the baby, I mean, it's heartbreaking when I think about it. Tell me everything about that episode specifically.
Dude, well, I had done a couple of Breaking Bad episodes for Vince and the gang, and I had worked with the writer of that episode, Moira Wally Beckett, on the previous episode, and that's why I got the call to come in and direct that one. And so it was, I mean, I read that script, and I just felt this sense of responsibility. Like I was like, you sure Vince doesn't want to direct this one? But look, I mean, I felt really, really honored to be asked to do it, and I mean, that script, that cast, and the place they were at the end of the season. I mean, I was just coming in there trying not to mess it up, and it's I'm really, really proud of everyone's work on that episode, man. It's really something.
You did an incredible job as far as building the tension and the drama, because the whole audience has been going along this journey waiting for this release, and you finally get it. And it's just, there's so much packed in that 1 hour episode. I just don't know how you're able to have just the economy of storytelling just to make it just hit all the marks as it was going.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I mean, again, it's all there on the page. And also it is like having a rocket ship strapped to your back in terms of the audience, because you're not just like, it's not just the emotional impact of what happens in those 60 minutes. It's in the 5 seasons leading up to it. And it's all so expertly aimed by the writers and by Vince at that point. For me, I come in as a director. It's just a matter of making it tick as well as it can on the screen, but it's all there. Yeah.
No, you are right. It's interesting. I mean, I love The Sopranos as well, and I've read so much about it. And David Chase, the directors, as you said, they're directors for hire. They would just come in, do a couple episodes, boom. It's all about the writing, and of course, Chase, the showrunner in that case, or in this case, Vince Gilligan. Their vision kind of gets told, and the director kind of, like you said, they just kind of come and get the job done. What was it like working with Cranston specifically? Obviously, he's so great as Walter White.
He's amazing. I mean, it's funny. We just ran into each other in London recently, and it's still just like a big hug, and it's like we're back on set again. I felt lucky. The first Breaking Bad episode I directed was called The Fly, and it was just Bryan and Aaron in one location. It was almost like a play, and so when I started, I got this concentrated dose of just working with those 2 actors, and it was like a masterclass for me. It was heaven. Just watching those guys work and working that material with them, and really being able to dig into it. I mean, I think Cranston can do anything. I think that guy's just he's a marvel. Yeah.
I'm with you. And also, like you, a massive Dodgers fan.
Yeah, there you go. Well, like I said, he's a marvel. He's great. No.
All right, it's time now for some rapid fire questions here with Rian Johnson. So what is your earliest baseball memory?
My earliest baseball memory is Cubs related, actually. My mom's family was in Mundelein, Illinois, outside of Chicago, and I have memories of watching lying on the rug watching Cubs games with my grandpa in Mundelein, Mundelein, Illinois. I said Colorado. And then I remember going to a game and my grandma bringing rice cakes and bananas because that was her superstition to make the Cubbies win. Don't know if that's a thing.
I love that. That has to stick. I think of the Cubs, and I think of the unique way in which Ryan is spelled, R-I-A-N. And of course, I think of Ryne Sandberg, R-Y-N-E. I almost wish you'd have that spelling as well. Yeah. Favorite baseball player of all time? Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, also, I don't have a super. The thing is, I am not like a baseball like know all the teams going way back. I have friends who are like that. So I became a hardcore baseball fan when I met my wife, basically, because she was a hardcore Dodgers fan. So I have like a kind of a shallow bench. I mean, the reality is also, though, it's hard right now to because I don't have like, oh my God, growing up watching this player or that player. I look, though, at Ohtani, and the fact that you can kind of see that we're experiencing history right now with what this guy is doing. I mean, he harkens back to the greats, and it's fun to watch him. I don't know, but there's a few Dodgers that I'm massive fans of. I love Mookie. I love his attitude on the. He just usually looks like he's having a good time on the field, and that's fun to see.
Yeah, he definitely has a certain joie de vivre. There's no question about it. If you could be in the stands for one game or moment in baseball history, what would it be?
Oh my God. Well, this is the thing is I'm going for something that's like heartbreak instead of joy, but I think it would be fascinating. I'm a big fan of that 30 for 30 called Catching Hell that was about the Cubs series and the Bartman catch. And I feel like they capture the energy in there, and that would have been a fascinating place to be in that moment, just as an anthropologist landing back there and feeling the emotions. And that's a cruel answer. I should be saying,
no, I like it. That's a great answer.
To some glorious finish. But if you could go back in a time machine and just study the vibes, like while all that was going down, I feel like that would have been interesting.
That proves you're a true dramatist, taking a moment like that rather than one of joy, but one of absolute pain. Who would make a better baseball manager, Luke Skywalker or Benoit Blanc?
I'm going to say Blanc, because Blanc is more strategic. He's got the 3D math in his head. He can kind of overthink things sometimes, but whereas Luke, you look at young Luke coming up, he does tend to go more on impulse that he has to then tame. I'm gonna go with I'll have Benoit Blanc managing the team.
I love it. He'll look good in the uniform no matter what. Favorite movie plot twist?
Oh boy, well that would be a spoiler, wouldn't it? There's a I'll just say, so one of my favorite movies, this is a little bit more obscure. There's a movie called Sleuth with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier. Old school movie based on the play, and it has two incredible plot twists in it. So look up Sleuth. I'm not going to spoil them. I won't say what they are, but I'll put my money down there.
That's great. A few more to go. One actor you all work with that you haven't worked with yet?
That's kind of why I make these movies. I want to work with every actor in Hollywood. I want to work with all of them. There's a bunch of them that I haven't worked with that I would love to work with. I don't want to jinx it. Because I actually have a shot. Fair enough. Because I may someday, and I don't want them. I don't want to make it weird.
100%. And last question: what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man, I don't have a favorite movie of all time. I have too many to go through. How about a favorite baseball movie? I'm sure you do that a bunch, huh? Yeah, let's do that. I'm a Moneyball guy. I know some people love it. Bad News Bears is hard to beat. I really love the movie Moneyball, and I adore that movie. I think it's so smart, and also I think at the end of the day, even though it's about kind of how the sausage is made, I find it's an incredibly joyful celebration of a lot of what I love about baseball. So I'll say Moneyball.
It's a great answer. And I love the great late Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Art Howe. He's just always great in every movie he's in, obviously. It's always fun to see. Excellent. All right, the new film is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, directed and written by Rian Johnson, and it's available right now on Netflix. Go check it out. It's fantastic, like all of his work. Rian, this was a real blast. Thank you so much for this, and go Dodgers.
Thanks for having me.